love Omniverse. Just want to say that before people get the wrong idea. This is not a worst list. I've already covered the top dumbest episodes from all other previous Ben 10 series. But as usual, I have to start with a disclaimer that dumb does not equal bad. In fact, in many ways, that's what makes the franchise so enjoyable. It's a sci-fi series that doesn't take itself too seriously, and can be insanely fun and creative with its plots and lore. That's what makes it enjoyable, and it's my favorite sci-fi franchise. And there's still plenty of great and enjoyable dumb episodes in every single series. I've gone over so many. So don't get the wrong idea. I'm not saying every episode here is terrible because it's kind of stupid and wacky. I'm just ranking them based on it. This video is not supposed to be inherently negative, nor is anything here only here because it's terrible and I don't like it. And yeah, doing this to Omniverse, the series that was kind of infamous for being overhated for so many years, it is pushing some buttons to people, but again, this is not a worst list. I love Ben 10 Omniverse. It's literally my second favorite iteration of the franchise. It's not the classic. But granted, my relationship is kind of interesting with it, as I feel that some of the franchise's genuine highest highs, but also some of its lowest lows. There's a ton of super fun, well-written, nuanced, imaginative, amazingly animated, and just great episodes and story arcs I love, but it also has a lot of really inane annoyingness, a ton of awful character writing that just generally feels like the worst in the show. It's a real mixed bag, I feel, more than any other series in the franchise. A lot of it can come from the series trying to be more like classic, a lot more fast and loose with the lore and plots, and prioritizing rekindling that spirit it had. Sometimes it really works. Sometimes it really doesn't. Again, I love the show, but it does undeniably have problems. Now, if you remember what I said in the Ultimate Alien video, I said that Ultimate Alien has an issue where it oftentimes will do everything to force a plot, even if it doesn't make sense. Like Aragorn constantly managing to one-up the heroes when it makes no sense at times, and Ben randomly going to murder mode for Kevin and never finding an alternative, where it feels super out of character. Or how this stupid plan somehow defeating Ben and getting the Ultimatrix. But Omniverse has an issue where it will do everything to force a joke, even if it doesn't make any sense, and I feel it's undeniable. Like the amount of times they interrupt or ruin a plot or emotional moment to undermine it with a joke or break the world building and the lore is a lot, and you will see so many examples of it. Because of it, I definitely feel it has the most amount of dumb episodes, or at least moments in the franchise, not counting the reboot. Again, some of these are fun and I enjoy them. As I really want to drive in, being dumb does not mean bad. It's like how silly, wacky, ridiculous an episode is in the context of itself. But sometimes there's dumb fun, and then there's just bad dumb. And so, while I got about 10 of the dumbest episodes of each franchise with a good amount of honorable mentions, Omniverse, that's not enough. I need to do a top 20. Then again, it has 80 episodes, practically almost twice as much as any other series. Plus its new tone, it's kind of a surprise in that case. But again, I want to say I love Omniverse. I love so much about it. This video is not supposed to be negative. I'm not going, hey, look at how many dumb episodes this show has, it's terrible. I'm just giving it the exact same treatment I've given every other Ben 10 show. I'm not going out of my way to berate Omniverse for it. I do this out of love for the franchise, not hate. These episodes are on the list regardless of their overall quality. There's episodes I love and episodes I hate in equal measure. But again, sometimes dumb really does equal bad. But let's finally finish off the dumbest series once and for all and check out the top 20 dumbest episodes of Ben 10 Omniverse. So yeah, Omniverse, I love it. It has some of my favorite episodes of the franchise, like Hot Stretch, and absolutely adore what the show did for the Inane system. Plus, so many cool arcs, amazing world building, exploring different planets in depth, incredible animation, and only giving Lodestar 2 appearances. That was really nice of them. But yeah, with 80 episodes, we have a lot to go through. But still, it was easy enough to single out 20 of the dumbest to put on this list. So I don't want to add too much of like the dumb stuff in the established lore unless it truly breaks it. Like, I don't want to put any of the Inane arc on the list because it's on a planet of Halloween monsters that somehow exists. Like, that's been here since Classic, or just hell, the existence of blocks. And it's unfair to wrap so many episodes on that. To truly get on the list, as to practically break so much of what the show set up. And a problem around the episode itself. And just really bring up a sense of, this is pretty dumb. But yeah, let's get started. Number 20. Mystery Incorporeal. Now, this episode is actually pretty good and not dumb on its own. I love how the title's a reference to Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, obviously an homage to Derek J. White's previous work on that show, which I covered last month. Maybe check it out if you haven't. And it's kind of an homage to that show as well. It has Ben and Brooke meet up with Gwen and Kevin at a spooky university and investigate the paranormal happenings involving some weird cult in the school and the teacher's possible involvement. They do make it a big Scooby-Doo parody, evidence at the beginning, and even now with Kevin having a dog. Now this episode plot-wise really isn't dumb at all. It's pretty great and there's nothing wrong with the plot. It's interesting and investing. It fits the show perfectly. Okay, except for the weird cameos. Well then, why is it here at all? Well, aside from this moment that drives me hysterical every time I see it. It's that this episode is filled to the brim with visual gags. Now, Omniverse is no stranger to this. It does these over-the-top anime expressions on occasion, and they're fun. But this episode, I feel by far has so many, it feels almost distracting. Like really, it does it so much, I swear I'm watching an episode of Teen Titans at the time with how many weird anime expressions and reactions they have. Which Dare J. Wyatt also worked on, And the fact that the show doesn't usually do it to this degree makes it feel all the stranger. Especially actually doing the Scooby-Doo door chase gag in the episode, and it's so damn weird in context, like legitimately makes absolutely no sense. It's such a strange moment that kind of takes you out of the episode. But yeah, really, that's the only thing that gets it on this list. A great episode, love the atmosphere, development of Gwen's University and all the magical stuff, and giving Jory every good time to shine, you love to see it. It just loves its gags a little too much that it gets on the bottom of the dumb list. Number 19. Special Delivery. Again, in a similar approach to Mystery Incorporeal, the episode actually isn't too dumb, it's just mostly one part. Namely, the premise. Mr. Bauman gets so sick of Ben destroying his property constantly in his alien fighting antics, he forces him to be a delivery boy to pay off the debt with no powers. Pretty silly premise, but thankfully the episode isn't all about it, and takes a turn when a delivery gone wrong, replaces the last thing he needs to deliver with a super powerful dwarf store that every villain in Undertown wants to get their hands on. Hilariously, Ben has no idea and thinks everyone is incredibly murderous over a goldfish. Honestly, when Siphon at the end questions Ben not questioning giving up the goldfish he has in exchange for the dwarf star, I kinda wish he did it. Like, it would actually be hilarious if he just went, oh yeah, sure, let's trade, perfect, and just completely got away with it.
Take your dwarf star. I just want the goldfish so Mr. Bauman will get off my back.
Why? What's so special about these goldfish?
But yeah, the episode really isn't too dumb. It's actually pretty fun and creative. I love seeing the gathering of all these villains and team-ups we never see, and Ben beating them all, it's awesome. And this crowd guy has great taste in women. It also introduces Topik, sweet. Not the biggest fan of him, but hey, it's neat. This is kind of what I consider good dumb plots of the show. It's kind of stupid, but the show does a lot with it. It makes it very enjoyable and creative. It's good. I guess Ben is really embracing his inner Shrek here.
I'm no one's messenger boy, all right? I'm a delivery boy.
Number 18. Lucas and Dreba go to Mr. Smoothies. Did any kid get the reference? Now, this is a shakeup, as it actually doesn't focus on Ben, but instead Lucas and Dreba, the Galvin tech support of the plumber base. Now, I think these guys are kind of contentious in the fandom, and to be fair, they are kind of very Omniverse style characters, just being practically defined by their jokes. But I actually don't mind them. I think they're fun and can help out in a ton of plots as semi-efficient scientists for whatever the plot needs. But yeah, worthy get an episode to star on their own. Basically, in the night shift, they get compelled by the evils of Earth capitalism to make an unauthorized smoothie run to go to Mr. Smoothie to get the new grasshopper smoothie, and trying not to get fired and getting to antics getting lost or getting mugged by a squirrel. Oh yeah, and also Ben's trying to fight a supervillain at the same time. That is pretty silly, but still pretty fun. It's actually mostly the main villain that gets it up more. Trombipular. Now yeah, pretty weird just having a big elephant alien, but it was actually originally from Ultimate Alien, just brought back in Omniverse, kind of more fittingly here. But weirdly, he's this massive threat in this episode. Yeah, not only fighting Ben, but also seeking the source of infinite power. Peanuts. Yeah, they really play up the elephant stereotypes to insane degrees, even with his mechanical means he based off the most fearsome creatures in the galaxy. Mice. Yeah. Also, the peanuts make it go gigantic to the point of soloing frickin' way big. Yeah, it's really pushing the suspense into disbelief to an insane degree, like wow. But again, I don't think it's bad, it's pretty fun. I especially love the ending where they just barely miss it when it's closed, until Ben keeps it open for them. It's real fun, but still pretty dumb.
The universe doesn't care if we ever get our smoothies. The universe just doesn't care.
Number 17. Catfight.
I should call this movie Catfight.
I am not big on this episode, which sucks because it definitely had potential. Unfortunately, Omniverse had to pull in Omniverse and then made this episode all about romance drama. It starts out with a double date with Ben and Esther, but a minor villain, Nianchi Chan, a mutant with the ability to control cats, uses her powers on Wrath and he becomes her servant. And of course, having one of Ben's strongest and most ferocious forms at her beck and call makes her a massive threat and the others gotta save him. Honestly, this is great setup. It's different if we could focus on Rook and Esther working together to save Ben, and hell, finally develop some of their relationship. But no, that's not the plot. The real issue is Princess Atea and Princess Luma coincidentally also want to marry Ben as their respective alien forms and fight constantly for the right to marry him, pulling him apart practically 4 ways now. Also, someone rigging a device to manipulate the Omnitrix, how? Eventually culminating in, well, a cat fight, where Ben finally tells them that they don't need a boy toy, as they quickly agree they didn't want him in the first place and leave. What was the point of all this?
Just happened here. am not sure.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not big on this episode, especially since once again, Ezra's actual relationship is sidelined again for more crappy romance drama and tension that amounts to nothing. It again just makes me wish the episode focused on the actual relationship built up and not dumb romance plots. But it's really the execution of this episode and the utter pointlessness that gets it to feel truly dumb. Not to mention making Yanchi Chan of all people the main threat. But not too terrible. I'm just glad we're not going to dive into the shitty romance episodes of the show. Oh, god damn it. Number 16. Rules of Engagement. Ugh. Okay, look, the previous episodes on the list I genuinely enjoyed or thought were fine, but we're getting to episodes I actively hate. Starting off with this one, which is one of my most hated of the franchise. I swear this episode exists just to piss people off. Like every single Ben 10 series does romance absolutely horribly, but Omniverse I swear goes out of its way to make the most badly written, frustrating thing possible to intensely provoke the audience. And this is one of the biggest things possible. Ben and Julie broke up off screen. Why? Because she misheard Ben raging at a video game and thought he was mad at her. Are you kidding me? Like, legitimately, who thought this was a good idea? Look, I know Ben and Julie's relationship was in the toilet, mostly due to incredibly inane and frustrating forced romance drama, and this show also just completely ignores them reaffirming their relationship in the finale. But if you are going to break it up, at least do it with some damn dignity after we went through 2 entire series with them. But no, Omniverse did an Omniverse and turned into a big damn joke. Aren't you laughing? Omniverse, when it first came out, was blasted by so many people, especially UAF fans seeing what the show became, and in this case, I think it's valid. Like, it's legitimately like the show is slapping you in the face, daring you to do anything about it. It's actively insulting. Not to mention Julie being incredibly mischaracterized as a spiteful ex like she never was. If anything, she was way too forgiving with what Ben put her through. Like, genuinely, it's complete character assassination. It makes it feel like the show actively hates her. And the show treats her like she's developing to respect Ben and what he does despite, oh yeah, she already learned this long ago. What is your deal? It's not even like the rest of the episode is good. It's stupid. Lil wants to marry Ben, which is probably her only motivation in the show, and starts kidnapping and beating up people. I think this is genuinely one of the worst episodes of the show, and it really does feel like it's actively pissing on the past legacy of the franchise. I'm not even a big UAF fan, and I feel insulted. I genuinely think that this episode was a big contributor to Omniverse's immense hatred when it came out, and why so many fans of the previous series turned their back on it, and frankly, I don't blame them. I feel insulted too. I did not go through all of that just to be actively mocked like this. It's just filled with idiotic writing decisions that actively seek to piss off fans, and even I can't defend it. In my opinion, it's generally one of the worst episodes of the series and should not have existed. Its plot might not be that dumb, but god damn it, the decisions in here were. But at least it can't get any worse. Number 15. The Secret of Dos Santos. Look, I've been making videos for about 2.5 years now, and the most painful video to date I have ever done was the Ben 10 romance video, going into how much this show utterly fails at writing and developing romantic relationships in literally any capacity. Having to pinch as absolute awful character interactions, writing decisions, and drama pretending to be romantic development was absolute torture, and I think this franchise has by far the worst romance writing I have ever seen in any animated series, and I am willing to die on this hill. I don't want to mix like the worst episodes with the dumbest. If I did, this episode would be a lot lower, but this episode is filled to the brim with again the stupidest, most inane writing for romance I've ever seen. It's mostly just bickering with Ben and Kai, which I think is the worst relationship I have ever seen in my life, like genuinely toxic as hell, and they take them arguing like 5-year-olds as legitimate development, going back and forth, blowing up at each other, and then forgetting about it and getting back together for a few seconds, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I am actually going insane. Also, wow, giant ancient Mayan colossus they have to fight. I haven't seen this before in Ben 10. This episode has some of the dumbest character writing I've ever seen. It's just become actual torture sitting through it. I just want the characters to shut the hell up and never see each other. I'm amazed like no one had a problem with this. Romance is the worst part about this entire franchise. An episode like this is the reason why it's so stupid. And yet we're still gonna get more, just you wait. Number 14. Rad. Okay, finally moving away from horrible romance writing and back to just plain dumb fun, for the most part. Now honestly, this episode's main plot isn't that dumb. It has Ben and Rook having to transport a dangerous animal to cure trapped plumbers on a toxic planet while avoiding the incursion armada. Perfect plot for a Ben 10 episode. It's just the characters that get it this high. Firstly, Rad Dudesman. Yes, that's really his name. He's a weird blue duck who's like if you fused Han Solo and Rocket Raccoon, a fearsome smuggler with a reputation who will do any job for the right cash, and has an assortment of huge guns when things get dicey. Danger is his middle name. Literally, the ending is revealed his name was Rad Prophet Danger Trouble Dudesman. It's absolutely ridiculous. Some people, it really rubs them the wrong way. It's just a stupid character, and I fully understand, but me, I kind of like Rad. It's just the done that makes me smile. He's just an over-the-top character, like a badass smuggler, literally called Rad Dudesman, but also a duck in shades. Maybe if we got to know more about his species, it wouldn't be as weird, but it's just the amount of dumb fun I can help but enjoy. The main issue is Pax. Pax is one of the most hated characters in the show for good reason. He's an over-the-top animal rights activist who almost always just makes situations worse for everyone by his sheer idiocy. Like, literally his only purpose in any episode is making things worse for no reason. He's just such a stupid character and obnoxious. You wish that he actually stayed down when people explode him. This man is legitimately so obnoxious that even Rook, the textbook good boy, can't freaking stand him. Also, the Grackle Flint, just god, that design is terrible. Come on, Omniverse, you're usually really good with designs. You could have tried a lot better with this thing. Looks like a deflated grandpa. Speaking of which, a lot of the conflict from this episode happens because Pax releases the very aggressive, very carnivorous alien on the ship to free it in the middle of space. Good job, buddy. Good job. You only have 2 episodes, but you managed to ruin both. Technically, he helps tame it, but that wouldn't be an issue if he didn't release it in the first place. Yeah, in theory, this episode will be fine, but it's just the characters in it that seriously puts the dumbest to get on this list. Still not bad, it has a few very bad parts.
And what do I do?
Number 13. Gone Fishing. This feels like a really fun and enjoyable episode if it just had some more substance. On a fishing trip, Ben, Max, Rook, and Magister Patilidae get wrapped up in a space pirate scheme to shrink and steal Earth's ship to resell them on the black market, with the people still inside as collateral. Now, again, it doesn't seem bad. Hell, it kind of feels like a classic episode. Problem is, there's just not a lot to it. The main villain, Captain Kirk, just has basically no origin, motivation, or depth to his character. He's just a random alien pirate guy who suddenly exists. And stealing boats to resell is just such an odd thing to do in Universe. Like, it doesn't feel like an earned conflict, you know? Like, this guy could be here for any reason, and the actual reason is just to steal some freaking Earth boats, turning them to actual bottled ships. It just feels really stupid. Like, out of anything here, it's just stealing a Carnival cruise liner. The whole issue is like, oh no, the people inside, they're running out of air, they're gonna die. But it's not like we ever see them. We literally just hear about it, and that's all the stakes we get. So again, just undermines the conflict and feels so much like, why are we doing this? But again, it's not terrible, it just kind of feels half-baked, which does make so much of it feel pretty stupid.
Expecting something a bit more
Impressive.
Impressive? I'm stealing boats and putting them in giant bottles!
Number 12. Universe versus Tennyson. Not to be confused with Ben 10 versus the Universe. You know, I was tempted to put in so long and thanks for all the smoothies for the ending just completely undermine the fact that all of existence permanently got erased and just cloned. Like, what the hell? But then I remembered the actual follow-up to it. Ben literally goes on trial for recreating his universe. That concept alone is ridiculous, but even before that, the plumbers faced their biggest trouble. A Galvin lawyer literally named Chad Smith. Yes, I'm not kidding. Chad Smith. It's incredible. Like, literally, the show somehow predicted the Chad meme. How they meant to do that? But Ben is eventually forced to get their help when the other Celestial Sapiens put him on trial for an authorized recreation of the universe. Wait, don't they like do this stuff all the time? They literally lampshade it. Why is this such a big deal? And everyone doesn't seem to care that their very existence was revealed to be a complete lie. And don't try to save themselves from the potential of appeal of the act and destroying all of existence again. What makes Ben confess? Of course it's not that. Again, literally everything and everyone he knows and loves died suddenly and horribly, and he's in a fake world of his own creation. No, it's because he couldn't get the grape smoothie flavor right. God damn it, Omniverse. You know, I'm fine when the show makes jokes and acts all funny and goofy, but when they constantly do it at the cost of the plot and the characters, it just generally becomes a problem.
Inform alien acts to recreate the entire universe and everything in it.
Told ya.
Like, why should I care about this plot when the main character doesn't? And nearly everyone votes Ben guilty, and again, this is everyone in the universe, though they have no preservation instinct, or is Ben literally the only being in existence who realizes the stakes. And in the end, it turns out that there was literally no stakes in this at all, and it happened over 5 Titans, or basically $20. Now, I don't want to make it sound like I hate this episode. I do enjoy it, especially the amazing Alien X sequence that finally justified this dude's existence, and one of the coolest moments in the franchise. And honestly, I do kind of love the idea of Ben stuck in the Universal Court case. It's just the details that drive it down to a dumb degree with how the characters act, especially Ben. Again, Omniverse prioritizing jokes really does kill so many of the moments of the show, and I really wish it would stop. But seriously, Chad Smith, I'm not getting over that.
Saved Ben. Saved me 5 pieces of Tadenite.
You're welcome.
Number 11. Vreedlemania. Vreedlemania is running wild here as Ma and Pa Vreedle reunite to cause havoc across Bellwood. The Vreedles can be a lot when they get a main role. Mother of all Vreedles was one of the worst and dumbest episodes of Ultimate Alien, but they actually fit Omniverse's tone more. Oh Mother, Where Art Thou? I actually think it's the best Vreedle episode. It has fun with the concept and doesn't take it too far, with Ma finally actually living up to her incredible reputation on screen and getting to more of the family built up. It's really enjoyable.
You finally done me proud.
I love you, Ma.
This was the happiest day of my life.
Granted, this was dumb.
Gonna take your son.
I don't have a son. I'm a kid.
I'm a mother too.
You are?
Yes. So I know how you must feel.
Also, I love how the only reason why Ma didn't at the end destroy the solar system was because she ended up somehow befriending Ben's mom. That's freaking amazing. And honestly, this episode starts out amazingly too, with Ben forced to go to a family get-together with her because of his mom. Like, good lord, that is amazing. Reminder, in universe, Ma's one of the most feared criminals in the galaxy, and one of the few opponents Ben has actually never beat himself. Now just forced to go and have lunch together. That's so hilarious. I love it. But yeah, this episode's plot is just... Basically, it's almost like Ma turned over a new leaf thanks to her friendship with Sandra, but then Pa comes back like, hey, you want to do some crimes and wreck the place? And she's like, sure, until at the end she realizes, oh, hey, this is where my friend lives, maybe I shouldn't do that. And basically, it's just a repeat of the other episode, just not as good. And honestly, a lot of the episode just feels like antics, but really, it's this one scene that gets it this high.
I will that conquer the roots.
Hey, Squid Diddley. Get.
Mrs. Riedel. Anyway, Ben, I have to go.
God damn it, Omniverse. This is living proof that Omniverse will sacrifice anything for a stupid joke. Vilgax is literally the show's main and most threatening villain. The guy who basically soloed the entire Omnitrix playlist. The galactic warlord who has fought Ben dozens of times, getting so many near victories and conflicts that will last for decades, just got scared off because of goddamn Moff Riedel. Like, it's amazing. You completely killed any remaining respect this character had in 20 seconds. Like, it's incredible. Vilgax has gone through so much decay ever since Alien Force from his original unstoppable juggernaut level, but this was just the final nail in the coffin. You cannot come back from it. You just cannot when you use the main villain of the show as a stupid joke. Like, it's incredible that no one think this was a terrible idea. Like, you could do this joke with Siphon and it would work because they already kind of treated him as a joke, but freaking Vilgax? The only justification I possibly had is the headcanon that will later see Vilgax was once just a young troubled exile, not the warlord he would be. So maybe he ran to Moff Riedel in the past, me working for her, and she got so mad at him that she just beat the ever-loving out of him. Like, just gently him up to near death and left him for dead for a long time, and that physical and emotional trauma even to this day that he can't stand to be in the same planet as her. But even then, that betrays so much of what we know about him. This man had literally no fear against an actual extra-dimensional eldritch horror, but this troll woman made him pussy out. Like, come on. Did one of the Riedels write this? Because man, this is dumb. Number 10. Blue gets a dream but go to Area 51, the sequel we never thought we'd get. This one is actually a really fun ride. It is a homage to old sci-fi B movies. It's as an effect makes it pretty dumb. It's actually a bit of a lore drop for the two, as we see they were plumber cadets, but a mission gone wrong had them intercepted by the government at Area 51. Just as this new villain, Benevolent, shows up with his massive death machine as they lose the one weapon Azimuth made that can destroy it. But it also weirdly mixes the timeline as we see young Max as an Air Force pilot seemingly in his 20s, just like in UA. But Colonel Rosem is also here somehow? What? How is he here? If anything, Rosem is a lot younger than Max. Max is like 66 or 67 in this show. Now Rosem has to be like 75. This makes no sense. But Max helps it to escape and seemingly take down his weapon, but Benevolent is back to spread peace. Benevolent is another character kind of like Cork. Like, he's just a random, unexplained alien, looks way too human, who wants to cause trouble on Earth for no reason. Even more ridiculous as he's a parody of old sci-fi B movie aliens. What's with this guy? He comes here constantly preaching about wanting to spread peace, and then gets a gun and starts firing wildly at innocents like a US president. What's with this guy? Especially since he has some unexplained beef with Azimuth. What's the story here?
A Galvan, sent by my old nemesis Azimuth, no doubt.
Apparently Darth J. White explained that his idea of peace is peace through elimination of differences, so basically just complete genocide. But his real threat comes with the Blurt, or
Large rampaging robot of terror.
This is a reference to Gork from The Day the Earth Stood Still, of a massive, indestructible robot behemoth that destroys everything in its path. Again, I recently did Monsters vs. Aliens, and my god, look at these guys, they're so similar. Who would win? So yeah, it's a massive reference to old alien invasion movies, and even though yeah, it's ridiculous ridiculous? Honestly, yeah, go for it. This is Ben 10, it's all about alien invasions. Let's go do this. It's really enjoyable and cheesy. Though there are some annoying moments of dumb as well. Of course, the Blue Green Reba, you're gonna get a bunch of scenes about them arguing. But also, Ben accidentally turns to the vampire, which is deadly in the harsh desert sunlight. And he never quick changes, which has been an established thing since forever, and just runs around screaming in agony while burning up until Max has to transform him himself. Man, we wasted vampire on this. It doesn't exactly show up often. Maybe the dumbest thing about the episode is that it shows that both have a diehard crush on this one Galvin Plummer, Luli, voiced distractingly by Kei Mikuchi. What the hell? Okay, there's no way these two are straight. That must be a cover. These two have more sexual tension and romantic buildup with each other than all of Ben's actual relationships. Wake me up when they release Blukits and Driba Go to Brazil.
Keep on using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Number 9. Have I got a deal for you? From Omniverse's first season, and it figures it would need one of the dumbest episodes of the show. Yeah, this one just... oh my god. How bad is this one? Well, this one introduces Pax. Oh god, no. So, like, there's basically no plot in this one. This alien con artist Hoaxstar tries to get Ben to endorse one of his products. However, then Pax arrives to make everything worse, discovering Hoaxstar is making his latest elixir from the milk of an endangered animal called the Screejet, and literally just breaks in to do it, getting to an argument over the Screejet is really abused or not. Pax is so idiotic and obnoxious that he actively makes animal rights activism seem stupid, which is frankly just terrible. This guy got an action figure somehow, seriously. Most Omniverse transformations didn't get an action figure, but this did? There has to be some miscommunication. Someone would say, we want an action figure Pax, not action figure of Pax, and at least tries to mediate it by presumably taking it to Plumber custody to have them sort out who's right, as everyone fights for it. Like, seriously, Ben's a plumber. He should have, like, basically police authority to confiscate it for the time being. Then the container breaks, and then suddenly the Screejet becomes giant and monstrous, because apparently they just do that in a planet filled with nitrogen. There was literally no build up to this, it just happened because we need a climax. You know what this episode reminds me of? Frickin' Fool's Gold. The dumbest episode of Alien Force. Like, literally has the exact same plot structure. Some douchebag locks up an alien for his own profit, trying to get money from its produce. Ben finds out and they fight over it, and there's a lot of pointless dumb antics before that, and out of nowhere, with absolutely no explanation and no build up, it becomes a huge giant killer monster after ingesting something just for a climax they have to beat in an unorthodox way. It's literally Fool's Gold 2.1, like come on, of all episodes to copy. What's with Paxton appearing in episodes with badly designed alien monsters? At least he gets arrested at the end, just wish it was a life sentence. Goodbye Pax, you were truly one of the worst characters in this franchise. You know, season 1 had some really great episodes. Trouble, Helix, Joel from the Past, It Was Them, my favorite hot stretch. But this episode I feel seeded some doubts in people who gave this show a chance, already showing the problems in this show's writing. Whatever deal this episode is offering, I don't want it. How about we don't free the Screejet?
Free the Screejet! Free the Screejet!
Number 8. Arrested Development. Now we're really getting to the dumb stuff. Again, did any kid get the reference? This episode also feels like it copies another episode from before, but at least it's better. When dealing with those generic robots from UA, Ben and Rogue encounter a new villain, Billy the Bitch Boy. Oh, like really, Billy Billion's design is directly based off of Clarion the Witch Boy from DC Comics. Billy Billion's legit just doesn't feel like he belongs in the franchise. I know shows love to have the mean rich rival like Fairly Odd Parents or Jimmy Neutron, but Ben 10 really doesn't need one. Anyhow, he's actually in the reboot and fairly fits that show's tone much more than this one. But his backstory legitimately makes no sense. Apparently, he was one of Ben's schoolmates and was constantly jealous of him. What? Ben was the school loser. Nearly every time we saw him in school back then, he was constantly picked on and humiliated. You're a billionaire, why are you jealous of the equivalent of Timmy Turner? And then seek to kill him by making a laser somehow to send him to another dimension. Yes, really, they're just dropping that. Also, he doesn't seem to care that Ben is transforming into aliens. Maybe this is from the Goodbye and Good Riddance timeline, like that would actually make this all make sense. But it reflects off of Diamond Head sending him to another dimension, Dimension 12, where there was a robot uprising and killed all organic life, while also giving him super intelligence and stopping his aging. Just go with it, we're not done with the dumb. He makes a remote to control the robots and make a portal back, and the main gimmick of the episode is that he makes a device that de-ages Ben and Brooke into kids. Yes, really. Is there any suspension of disbelief left? How are you jealous of Ben? Dude, you're a billionaire who's able to reverse aging. You will be an actual hero to mankind. Why does no one do this with technology in any show that has this trope? I made a comic making fun of this stuff. So yeah, we got a bit of a retread of Don't Drink the Water, but just done really, really stupidly. And that episode already got on the dumb list of classic, and Unfortunately, it doesn't even do any young alien variants. Come on, those like the best part of the episode. I know he's 10 and not 4, so most aliens are the same, but still, really disappointing. Honestly, this entire episode feels like a fanfic by someone who doesn't really understand the lore. So Ben and Brooke find this rich kid who was one of Ben's classmates and was jealous and tried to send him to another dimension, but he got sent to another dimension of killer robots. But he got super intelligent, but now he's a kid forever, and now he controls the robots, and then turned Ben and Brooke into kids too, and they gotta finally get back to normal. This episode just has so much random bonker stuff that doesn't fit into this show, but honestly, it's not terrible. It's a fun-ish episode at least. It's fun seeing the two fight as kids, especially young Rook. It just probably would have been better if they used a different villain. Like, I don't know, Charmcaster? No, I think that would work with her later. Hex, maybe? I don't know, just make a better antagonist. What are you doing here, Billy? Just get out of here.
As smart as you think you are, Billy. You're just a spoiled brat, Billy. A petty, jealous copycat, Billy.
At least you know my name now.
Number 7. Something Zombozo This Way Comes. Okay, this episode is very dumb, but God, I love it. Like, legitimately, it's one of my favorite episodes. You see, I like dumb episodes too. Zombozo's back, and with the circus freaks returning as his minions. Hell yeah. We literally haven't seen this since season 1 of Classic. Weekend, he needs to feed off of fear and will terrorize the town posing as a circus. But it's to attract people for his newest scheme, the clown zombie virus. These chatting teeth will bite people, transforming people and aliens to zombie clowns just like him as they take over the town. Yes, Ben has to fight an army of clown zombies. This is literally a joke in Freakazoid.
This atomic demolecularizer, I can turn anyone into a clown zombie. That is the stupidest plan I've ever heard of.
I also kind of made a comic making fun of this. People say that this doesn't make any sense, and yeah, it is dumb, but honestly, I think there's enough to infer it. We know Zombozo has connections in Undertown, so who's to say he didn't work with an alien criminal and use alien technology to bioengineer his own zombification to affect all other life as an infection? Like, I think it makes enough sense in context. I also appreciate how it dives into Ben's fears. And in season 1 had his fear of clowns. He was forced to fight when dealing with Zombozo, and after defeating him, it seemingly got rid of it. But I like how Zombozo tries his best to reopen that wound to feed off his fear again, culminating when he infects Grandpa Max, turning him to a zombie clown, which breaks Ben, not only unearthing the source of his fear, but also basically seeing his most cherished loved one as a manifestation of it. I actually appreciate this approach and uses Zombozo's fear aspect well. Plus, it's my favorite aesthetic ever, the creepy carnival. Hell yes, hell yeah, enjoy this into my veins, I love it so much. It's one of the best looking episodes of the show with its stylized shading. We get so many cool and creepy designs from the zombified citizens to the aliens. It's so great, they really put a lot to the designs here. I even like how the circus freaks have more personality here, highlighting the showmanship side as performers as well as criminals.
Which alien will he become, folks? Oh, the suspense is killing me.
In this episode, I feel the gags work more. I mean, it's an over-the-top circus. It's also gorgeous. I think it's one of the Omniverse's best-looking episodes, really taking advantage of the unique shading and atmosphere. Granted, Ben defeating Zombozo with toe break is abrupt, but hey, every Zombozo appearance, he has to be traumatized to be defeated. Though he did use a can to send himself to space, and apparently the plan was his tightest to the Anor arc, to have him land on Anor Onomero. God, this can has faster than light travel? What the hell? I like that he became like the zombie king, would have been cool. I won't deny this episode is very dumb, but damn if it's not a dumb episode I absolutely love. Screw what Kuro thinks, you're amazing in my eyes.
Frankenstrike? Against a whole mob of zombie clowns? Yeah, okay.
Number 6. Clyde 5. You guys like Napoleon Dynamite? The writers of this show do because he's literally in this one. Yeah, this one's a lot. We actually have Napoleon Dynamite himself, John Hidier, voting his parody, Clyde 5, who's the grandson of Aunt Vera. A really deep cut to the 4th episode of the entire show. I'm actually surprised it took this long for the show to use her again. I actually felt permanent retirement didn't use her nearly as much as they should. But yeah, not the best way to do this. We actually get one of the few 4th wall breaks in the show where he manages to interrupt the theme song with Ben mad at him. What the hell? But it's not long before the dumb starts as Vera takes over the plumber base, acting more like Max's mom, and rearranges the place when she really shouldn't have the authority, as Ben's forced to hang out with Clyde, trying to convince him to be a plumber and not a hero like him. Then Liam, yes Liam, the chicken man, is into trouble with his new Tegadon armor, as Clyde takes it for himself, calling it the Cinco Tricks, tries to be a hero himself, but just causes trouble with his incredible inexperience. Ben and Rook try to convince him to turn it over as it's too dangerous, but he's all like, well, you found the Omnitrix, I deserve this, and it's so damn stupid and annoying. Why are we doing this? Why are we dedicating an episode to this? Like, on both the Clyde and Vera side. Like, this can work, but everyone's just an impulsive idiot who can't be reasoned with. It just feels like a massive waste of time. I don't know much about this episode's reception, the fan base, but like, come on, it can't be good. Granted, this scene is hilarious.
Tennyson doesn't go around wrecking stuff.
Also, you know, Liam is our main villain. Yes, Liam, who is literally like the generic goon of the show, eventually takes control of the suit to wreak havoc. He still takes it even after wanting to be a plumber, so like he didn't even have an arc. Why are we doing this? Is someone writing this just like really like Napoleon Dynamite so much they just had to insert him in the show? I don't know, man, but this is one dumb episode.
He fights really hard, Clyde
That
5.
doesn't even rhyme.
It's because you threw me off. Just let me finish. Clyde 5.
Number 5. Fight at the Museum. This episode just, God, I cannot stand it. What do we get but another terrible romance episode, good lord. Glide fight might have been dumb and annoying, but this, oh my god, this is just torture. We got another Kai episode, Grit, and it causes tension with Esther, who's trying to get her boyfriend to commit to no avail. And she please be put in a plot without romance tension? Like seriously, she deserves so much more. She and Julie should get together. Maybe they can bond over how much the writers do them dirty. The museum is threatened by Subdora and Exoskull trying to revive Maltruant, so the gang has to stay overnight to protect it. Now that wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the actual focus. Shitty romance drama. Oh my god. Ben 10 seriously has by far the worst romance writing I have seen in any show. Like, I have seen regular shows romance drama and Mystery Incorporated romance drama, and they pale in comparison to how bad this show handles it. They are trying so hard to force this ship without actually writing in the most important part, any actual chemistry or development. It's just bickering and bickering and bickering. It drove me insane watching it.
Just like I said.
I thought you meant the other main hall.
How could there be two main halls? You way!
Trust me, Tennyson.
Stop it, please! I beg you! This is sad!
To make matters worse, it's pushed by the Super Sentai mother Spanner trying so hard to convince everyone that they'll work out and that they're a great couple. It might as well be the writers actively exclaiming, this is going to happen. This is going to happen no matter what. We don't care how we write it. Eat shit. Literally, this relationship has zero development. They just flash forward. Hey, look, they're a happy couple. Isn't this good? Isn't this all worth the screen time? Yeah, the best and most beloved relationships are the ones developed entirely off screen and are completely toxic. There are people who defend this shit. Like, what the hell? I want to know what you can possibly consider bad romance if this is okay in your eyes. But what really puts this episode up here is how absolutely moronic this episode makes Ben. Now, I know Ben, especially in Omniverse, goes back and forth on his competence, like seriously, it's unreal. But this is by far the most brainless the show has depicted him. I actually refuse to acknowledge that this is the same character, not even from UAF, but just the same series. I know I'm completely stealing this joke from Phaelus, but I don't care, it's completely deserved here.
Here are older than our own solar system.
Aliens have old stuff? I thought aliens only had future stuff.
Someone's trying to steal the orb. The ball?
Oh!
You guys know you're not writing Patrick Star, right?
Aliens have old stuff? I thought aliens only had future stuff.
East? I thought you said West.
Someone's trying to steal the orb. The ball?
Put it on the lid. No, the lid. The lid. The lid.
Like, I genuinely don't know why they did it. Was it just to make Kai look smarter by making Ben a massive dumbass? Or is it just for more stupid jokes? I really can't tell. This episode is some of the absolute dumbest, worst character writing I've seen. It's a complete pain to get into. I love you, Omniverse, but I cannot defend you so many times.
Liam, where's the dinosaurs?
The dinosaurs were moved into storage to make room for this exhibit.
Now, why would they take away dinosaurs for all this old junk?
Number 4. Collect this. Remember at the start when I said that Omniverse just loves to break the world building and lore whenever it wants? This is one of the biggest examples. Oh, this is another episode where Ben is getting ripped off. I already hated Hero Buddies. A Double or Nothing was actually pretty fun, even was kinda dumb. Watch the UA video for more. But here, it's different as it's a whole new Ben 10 for interstellar audiences, parroting over-the-top 80s action heroes like those made by Rob Liefeld, like that one Fairly Odd Parents scene.
You can't swear! Only the super edgy 1985 Crimson Chin can swear. Yeah, and I got canceled for it.
Now this actually isn't out of nowhere, as it was introduced in Bros in Space, where Rook's younger brother was a huge fan, so it's kinda cool seeing it in action. It's a scheme by Hoakstar and Simeon, with Simeon even acting as the space chimp Gwevin. I would really love to know the two's reaction that most species in the galaxy see them as a space monkey. Ben's actor is actually Ellen Open. Pretty cool to tie them back in here, allowing them to shapeshift into other forms, but they're all made up ones. I can see this guy in Undertown. But Deephius here actually does explain that Sluts puppy, what Ben and Max called the Linopid species, is actually a racial slur likely used in the war, so wow. Ben really out here using racist terminology. This image is actually somewhat canon, and surprisingly cool with the show, at least this time, at least until they start actively stealing credit and causing havoc. But there are no copyright laws in space, maybe I should make extranet content. So yeah, this whole thing would be dumb enough of Ben's own parody coming to life and causing no end of trouble, but it's the climax that really sells it. As a publicity stunt, Simeon has Deefus sign the planet which attracts the main villain, Collectimus. Yes, out of nowhere they pull on a full-on Galactus parody of this nerdy god who acts like Brainiac and wants to collect everything, even entire planets. Like, seriously? Like, seriously, guys, you're out of nowhere introducing this? I genuinely think Collectimus is the character who breaks the show the most, maybe only beaten by one character later. Omniverse is saying that this guy was here the whole time, like ever, since the start. Like, genuinely tell me that you could see this guy existing in UAF, or even Classic. It's just too much. And he is legitimately powerful, having technology in his chair to pretty much do anything, and it implies that he is multiversal level, remembering the previous universe and even show. And again, this is just dropped the Galactus parody and nerd stereotypes going, yeah, he exists, he's a threat now. And I really mean stereotype, they push it here, even basically being a stand-in for the fandom. Real nice.
I just wish this world was just a little darker, grittier, like the old side better.
Not the worst I've seen in this franchise. This doesn't feel like a Ben 10 thing. This feels like something Gumball or another show would do. So yeah, this guy just completely breaks Ben 10's world, and it feels another thing that often gives Omniverse its negative reputation. Like, they'll literally just add anything regardless if it works or not. Again, the other series did it, but not to this extent. So Simeon somehow sells the planet to him. I don't know how he has any authority to do that, he doesn't have any ownership. As Collectimus plans to add the entire Earth to his collection, as Ben's only hope to stop him is trading his old classic shirt when he was 10 because he was a massive Ben 10 fan. Yeah, this episode, like, it was already kind of pushing it. It wasn't even that bad. But freaking Collectimus posted so hard to the dumb territory, but at least Simeon got the most fitting, ironic punishment possible for an asshole who sells stuff that he doesn't even own. Getting turned into an NFT.
Deefus Viebelpister.
Number 3. Vengeance is mine. Hey guys, I want to show you something. Come here. See this guy? This guy right here? Doesn't he kind of look like Vilgax? Yeah, kind of. Not really. Well, what if there was an entire episode where this is the only joke? This guy kind of looks like Vilgax. This is real and they made it. Vilgax is just a character that again proves Omniverse will do anything to force a joke. And yeah, I know the other shows do it sometimes, but again, Omniverse does it so often, it's basically a trope of the show. Case in point, dedicating an entire episode to one joke. Like, maybe this can work if you only did it once, like that beginning Pac-Man scene. Like, if that was it, it would be fine.
You look like that guy. You know, the most evil guy in the galaxy.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
It's kind of funny he's a plumber, like an actual plumber, not a space cop. But no, the episode drives it in to the point of absolute ridiculousness. Because Ben is so convinced that this guy, from first glance, is Vilgax. Like, are you kidding me? You can't identify a human right in front of you. You just assume this bearded dude is literally a giant squid man? So what the hell, this guy is literally so tall he could be confused with Vilgax? This is literally a 12-foot man and no one cares. We just have freaking Hagrid walking around fixing toilets. But it gets dumber when Siphon himself thinks he's the real Vilgax. Like, seriously? This guy was his right-hand man. You can't tell this guy isn't Vilgax? Like, seriously? Seriously, show? Also, they undermine Omniverse's efforts to reinvent Siphon on his own, making him a criminal kingpin, and it says that his gang doesn't respect him, so he'll gladly go back to being Vilgax's bitch. Great.
Closed? Curses! Now I'll have to shop online. They're charging taxes now.
Omniverse really just loves to completely undermine its antagonist for jokes. I know the other shows did it on occasion, but man, this show does it too much. Like, remember Beatlemania? Everyone is like actually moronic in this episode. It kind of pisses you off. Like, what is wrong with everyone? Are we seeing the same thing? Again, Omniverse will literally do everything they can to make a joke work, even making everyone a complete idiot.
And you down before, Vilgax, and I can do it again. Oh, it's Vilgax. It has to be.
It's Vilgax. It has to be.
The real threat comes when Vilgax randomly is stated to have these unexplained squid monsters under his beck and call in a flashback that makes absolutely no sense lore-wise, but when will this episode make sense? also look like Lucubras. You know, those extra-dimensional demons created by the Great Dagon? Why? How? Who cares? We gotta make more jokes. I genuinely wonder if, like, in the writer's room, they thought it was hilarious, but in execution, it just feels so stupid. Bill Gax is kind of treated like some big meme in the fandom, but honestly, like, I don't get it. I'm not feeling it. It's way too stupid, especially after this episode's execution is trying to force it so much. The only redeeming parts of this episode is that I actually give some underused aliens some time to shine, like Clockwork, Bullfrog, and even my favorite Snarrow, getting disappointingly his best fight scene in the franchise. But yeah, other people might like it, but to me, it's so damn dumb. I feel my intelligence being insulted.
Plumb lousy. You see how that works, Junior? Oh, you'll catch up.
Number 2, World's Most Dangerous Game Show. Now, it was hard to decide if this or the last episode was the dumbest episode of Omniverse, and while there's an argument for this one, I feel the last one just barely edges it out. But this one gave it some serious competition as one of the genuine dumbest episodes of the franchise that really breaks the entire lore again. Like, this genuinely does not feel canon. So again, out of nowhere, there's this very human-like alien named Charles Zenith, who's a thing known as a pugnivore, a species that somehow feeds off of drama, and forces Ben in a game show, and every woman he's met is teleported to compete in a competition to be his lover. Yes, really. This is real. Someone actually made this. What the actual hell? Like, actually, this does not feel real. This was surprisingly written by Yuri Lowenthal. Yeah, really, Ben 10 himself. And Spider-Man. And look, okay, I love Yuri. Please don't take that line out of context. But this was just awful. Like, seriously, this just does not fit into this lore, like, at all. You can't just keep randomly introducing these beings and then twist and sort of doing these things and never acknowledge it like it's some completely different cartoon. Like, can you genuinely imagine this plot happening in any other series? Of course it couldn't, because it just breaks so much of the internal logic. Like, I know the other series break the world building sometimes, like in Duped, but never at this degree. Omniverse really feels too much like it thinks it can just do anything it wants, which just makes everything feel so weird and wrong when it just doesn't hold back. And also, the episode is just genuinely terrible. It's another romance tension episode. Please, for the love of God, kill me. I don't want to be mean. Again, I don't want to treat it like I hate this show. I gave the same treatment to plenty of other episodes on the other series, especially UA. And when I get to the end of the list, things obviously get much stupider, but these last few episodes just, man, rub me the wrong way. The plot makes no sense. There's a bunch of stuff happening with absolutely no justification for any of this, and weirdly, no one in this episode cares that their free will and love life is being completely hijacked. Like, come on, guys. And honestly, like, this episode kind of disgusts me. Like, it feels weirdly sexist. I'm serious. It's literally getting all the female characters in this show, all of them, and putting them in a competition to compete for the affection of a guy. Like, all of these characters, even the strong independent ones, are now in catfights with each other, upping the stereotypes to 11 like their worth is only in being a lover to the main character, as if the show turned into a harem anime. It feels so wrong. There are literally grown-ass adult women, even some married, competing to go out with a 16-year-old boy. What? Like, genuinely, what is wrong with this episode? I don't want to accuse Yuri of anything, but he really should have thought a lot longer about the setup. And even then, the characterization, good lord. I already went over how Ben and even Brooke and Max don't care about what's going on, but again, all the characters are now one-note stereotypes, not giving a shit about anything but the competition. Like, what is wrong with everyone? Also, Julie is treated as an incompetent moron who loses immediately because the series f***ing hates her. Bravo. The only positive in this episode is seeing Inner Transil again, since it's my favorite location in the show. And Charles Zenith, again, has literally no reason to exist. He's literally a reality warper with instant teleportation abilities. He's even able to send people to the null void. Come on, how is this possible? Is there like any consistent world building left? Like, we've had Benevolon and Collectivist, but this is another one that seriously pushes it. But actually about that, my friend Creature Feature, one of the most popular Ben 10 artists, had the concept that Benevolon, Collectivist, and Charles Zenith are all pugnivores. Pugnivores are actually extra-dimensional reality warpers that all base their corporeal personas around Earth TV signals. Benevolon bases his off of sci-fi B movies, Collectivist off of collector shows, and Charles Zenith off of game shows, and all of them go and cause trouble in other dimensions. That actually is brilliant, like legitimately. It's the perfect explanation for all these guys that actually make them fit into the world and give a reason for them existing, and explain so much and why they're so alike. Like, genuinely, I wish this was actually canon and the show took this direction. It makes it a lot less stupid and actually more interesting when you make them fit in the universe. Great job. Also, like, genuinely go see his work. It's freaking fantastic. He makes some of the best Ben 10 artwork and designs I've ever seen, and one of the best artists I know. Like, really, you need to see them. I'll link his account. But unfortunately, in canon, we just gotta deal with them existing. Look, this episode is just so random, contrived, and badly written in nearly every aspect that it generally feels like someone's terrible shipping fanfic that disregards the existing setup of the show, and yet it's canon. Also, Ben turns down the girl who has constantly shown him affection and care throughout all of her appearances for the who has never given him an ounce of respect his entire life, even in this episode.
Nice move.
I've been practicing.
I was talking to Ball Weevil.
F***ing hell. Even forcing this at the end. Please. Please kill me.
Bad for the loser who gets stuck being the next contestant on this show.
And the dumbest episode of Ben 10 Omniverse. Now, for the last episode, again, I really struggled between this and Game Show. And honestly, it's objective. It can go either way, really. Game Show was show-breaking, dumb, and stupid, but this episode just baffles me on how it was even made. The dumbest episode of Ben 10 Omniverse is Hidorium to Eternity. This episode fundamentally baffles me. Like, I'm serious. This episode doesn't feel real. It generally feels like this is some completely alternative universe Ben 10 show that somehow existed in our reality. I'm not kidding, like nothing about this episode makes sense, so I need to actually do a deep dive. So it's a flashback episode, not too unusual, but still kind of off-putting without a framing device. Also, Lucy is with Gwen, which seems weird, but a previous episode does show that Lucy occasionally stayed with Gwen a few times when they were kids, so it's not bad. This is literally the only thing that makes sense with the show. Apparently, Mr. Bauman and all the adults in the neighborhood are going to a party for a new guy, Mr. Collins, who's introduced only this episode, and his creepy house at the end of the street that has literally never existed at all. Like, seriously, this feels like a joke from Chowder.
That house wasn't there before.
You said that yesterday when we drove by it.
Hey, that house wasn't there before.
Also, Ben uses forms in public, which feels weird. Like, I know he did do it in Classic, but like, I don't know, it's kind of weird he does it publicly in his own neighborhood back when he had a secret identity thing. Mr. Bauman at least knows about Ben's secret, but weirdo it's not treated as a bigger deal. But everyone's acting weird, especially Bauman, and apparently all of eyelashes in their eyes. I feel that, bro. That's the worst.
Oh, woo, got it. That darn eyelash has been bothering me all morning.
But he stands in the sprinkler, so at least it's not Limax. Actually, I'd love to see that with Lucy. I'm glad she has an extra appearance. But still, it's a mystery, even than asking their friend Jonesy. Yeah, Jonesy. You know Jonesy. Everyone knows Jonesy. Look at all his best scenes. Okay, who the is Jonesy? I'm serious. Like, this is one of the weirdest parts about this episode. There's just this kid named Jonesy they know, and this is literally his one and only appearance in this show, and is never mentioned after. And even weirder is that he seems to already know Ben's identity as well, and isn't surprised by the alien stuff. Like, what the hell is going on? I'm serious, who the hell is this kid? Why is it so treated like we should know him? This just completely baffles me. You know that joke where a cartoon will randomly have a new character, and they joke that he's always been there and the characters don't react? This is exactly that, but completely unironically. What the hell is going on? X investigates too and then gets a case of the Popeyes. To curse you all, I will now show you edits of Omniverse Max with pupils because I can. To help, they get Cooper. Yeah, Cooper. This is one only appearance in Omniverse. Shame. But another plot hole, Cooper doesn't live in Bellwood, especially in the flashback. They picked him up at the end of the last season of Classic. He shouldn't be in walking distance. They don't share a hometown. Also, now he looks like goddamn Bling Bling Boy and I'm gonna kill someone.
They say the guy who built the old Collins house was a werewolf and that he's immortal, kept young and hungry.
Again, who are you? This is literally like Graggle Simpson. They actually did it. But the kids have to investigate themselves. Also, Lucy tries to disguise herself as a chair for some reason. But anyway, it turns out there's a Scooby-Doo-ass pit they just barely survive. Also, the original Omnitrix works like the Omniverse one. That really freaking bothers me. And then they meet Kevin? Yeah, really, Kevin. What the hell? How are you here? Like, seriously, how? This makes no sense. Like, absolutely none. Like, they already played with them, already encountering Kevin when he was trapped in the Null Void before. But this is really pushing it. Like, the more they do this, the more the reveal in Alien Force genuinely makes no sense. Also, he has, like, literally no reason to be here. This is literally just for retconning the Gwen-Kevin romance to have off-screen build-up, when it, again, makes absolutely no sense. Like, genuinely, it makes it more baffling than coherent. And also, they're forced to team up, which, again, ruins Alien Force because they haven't seen each other since the event, and then immediately Kevin went to kill Ben for revenge. Also, Kevin met Cooper for the first time in Alien Force, so that's another massive plot hole here. How is it here? Well, apparently they're still trying to make this fit the timeline by having him still strapped to the Null Void portal he's attached to, somehow. Okay, they do explain it's a plumber snake, which was introduced in Alien Force, so that makes sense for the cable, but how the hell is the portal moving with him? That has literally never been a thing in the show ever. Then again, considering Charles Zenith could just Thanos snap people there, anyone can get in and out of the Null Void now. Hell, Google Maps can probably get you there. Mr. Collins somehow got him out to use matter manipulation powers to mine Hidorium, another new mineral of dubious explanation. Also, again, Ben was shocked at his ability in Alien Force, but he sees it here, my god.
To you guys all the time, cause this is like Crazy.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Not gonna talk about how nothing going on here is normal?
Welcome to this episode, buddy.
I already know about Ben's watch. And that I'm an alien.
Yeah, but mind control?
Seriously, how does this kid know about this? Like, how? Can someone please help me? However, it turns out the scheme was making a portal as Mr. Collins, the most overtly evil MF I've seen in my life, is using the adults for labor, revealing it's Ghost Freak. Of course. Yeah, I know, literally, how the hell does this make sense? I know this scare infamously dies and comes back so many times, and they never explain how, but from Classic to Alien Force, I thought it was evident that after the Omniverse scanned his DNA before he was killed, Smith found the evil actor Norite in the codon stream since it was on Primus and extracted it, reviving the scare and imprisoning him in max security until Vilgeist broke him out in exchange for the information on Primus, which he would know since he was there. How the hell he got into Legend Domain after that episode, I have no damn clue, but I still think the link was there. But here, I have literally no idea. How did he go from the DNA in the watch to this to prison? Who freaking cares? This episode does whatever the hell it wants. Also, they know his name is a scare somehow, which is another massive F you to continuity, since Ben and Co. literally just found out Ghost Freak's real name in Rad Monster Party and they made a big deal about it. Also, his head isn't twisted like it was in that episode, which didn't happen yet. What is with this episode? I am going crazy. So the scare is literally just repeating his whole scheme again, but dumber. Smoking the Hidorian to make thick black clouds of fog to blanket the earth in darkness so him and his kind will be vulnerable again. By the way, yeah, all like the Neurites have the sunlight weakness. It has always been a thing. And was only immune by his DNA in the Omnitrix. Please rewatch Ghost Freaked Out. They literally explain it.
You never had that problem when you were Ghost Freak. That's exactly why he needs me.
So it turns out the adults are possessed by ectoneurites, hence the one eye thing, which wasn't a problem before, and shouldn't they have the eye lines in that episode too? Granted, Omniverse already didn't do that, so whatever. I thought they just used the adults as skin suits in the sun. Why are they mining in them? Shouldn't they be much stronger on their own? Also, like, if they are on Earth and there were multiple nights, why didn't any of them just possess the kids instead of not caring? This scary, this was literally your plan. What the hell was stopping you from possessing Ben in his sleep and taking over the world like you literally were going to do in your introduction? This makes no f***ing sense.
If we survive this, I am out. No more aliens, no more you guys, no more ghosts.
Okay, maybe that's why he never appears again. He just noped out of canon completely. I'm not doing this again, I don't blame him. So again, there's no ectoneurite just like go and possess any of the other kids. Like this fight should be over in 2 seconds. Also, Cooper just jumps like 12 feet in the air, what the hell? Okay, everyone gets the fighting, it's actually kind of cool. I just wish it wasn't a story that made any damn sense. Even Jonesy accidentally does a thing, which is literally his only contribution to this episode. Literally, why does this character exist? Like, was he some Make-A-Wish kid who wanted to be on this show? Apparently not, he's just a new character. Anyway, they destroyed the machine, all the ghosties get teleported away. Now, I could find this an explanation to how he got into Legend Domain, but again, Ghost Town is after this, so again, any continuity is just chucked in the trash. Also, no adult cares about what's going on right in front of them. Also, Kevin gets yeeted back to the Null Void in a vain attempt to justify the story in canon. Why bother? How the hell does the scare like get any of the resources and know how to do any of this? The plumber attacked the Null Void portal, the other portal, who cares? The episode's over. This episode, like, just, I can't believe it's real. It breaks so much of the internal continuity of the show that makes it so baffling to watch. Like, I've watched it the first time, I was just completely dumbfounded every minute on how this doesn't make any sense. It's like the writers just really want to make a story with all the characters as kids. It didn't give a single shit if it made sense or not. Like, honestly, this structure just feels like Mad Libs. So Ben and Gwen meet with Lucy, Cooper, and Jonesy to investigate the adult and go to the mansion and meet Kevin, who's been captured by Ghost Freak to conquer the world with a portal. And like, I'm not against the idea. I love the thought of another flashback episode with young Ben, but god, I just wish it made sense and it could give a single shit about the continuity. It just acts Jonesy, Kevin, and Ghost Freak since their inclusion makes no sense. Have Cooper visit for vacation or something, instead of it be a scheme by like Hex and Charmcast to take over the town and replace the ectoneurites with their magical minions. Like there, this whole thing would make sense. But no, we're just stuck in this episode that's a massive middle finger to any continuity or sense whatsoever. Like, it's not a terrible episode, but it just doesn't fit into the show whatever time frame it is, making it a baffling experience for a fan. Actually, there's a theory that it takes place in the Goodbye and Good Riddance timeline. It actually makes perfect sense, and it explains why people are just fine with Ben's identity and the alien stuff around them. Now, the minor difference is if it's a different continuity. But there's no confirmation of that, so this episode is more plot holes and retcons than the entire Rooters arc. It has plot holes to the same series. Arguably, Game Show had the much dumber plot, but Adorium is so utterly confusing and baffling in how it just doesn't make sense in the timeline, with absolutely nothing explained or consistent. Basically just tells the viewer to deal with it. That to me just makes it the dumbest episode of Ben 10 Omniverse. Seriously, who the hell was Jonesy? So yeah, that was 20 of the dumbest episodes of Ben 10 Omniverse. And yeah, man, that was a lot. These episodes really pushed me in a lot of ways. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm super negative to Omniverse. Far from it. I've literally done this for every show, and it's basically the same. You get your share of amazing well-made episodes and really dumb and badly made ones. It's the same for everyone to varying degrees. Classic brought us Secrets and also Merry Christmas. Alien Force brought us World of Worlds and also Fool's Gold. Ultimate Alien brought us Absolute Power and also Duped. And this show gave us And Then There Was Ben, and also World's Most Dangerous Game Show. And yeah, while Omniverse did bring us a lot of dumb episodes, and all the time have a ton of writing problems and how it handles its plot, lore, and characters, it gave us not only an incredible looking show, but also so many fantastic arcs and episodes. More Things Change, Showdown, Trouble, Helix, Hot Stretch, Frogs of War, Few Brains More, The Multiversal Two-Parter, Weapon X, Mad Ben World, A New Dawn, just so much that's incredible, and the show wouldn't be the same without it. Also, stop hating on the Honor arc. It's one of the most gorgeous arcs of the show and gave us some of the coolest world building in the franchise. Come on. Omniverse is my second favorite show of the franchise, and despite how much it can absolutely piss me off to no extent, I can't help but love it. It's a big part of why I love this franchise so much. It's a legitimately great series, even with its many problems. I always say that just because something has problems or bad episodes doesn't mean it's automatically awful, and we can't accept great things have problems and focus on what it does right. And I do want to say, without that dumb, silly, wacky element, the show would lose so much of its appeal. I don't want any of this to come across that an episode just being dumb makes it bad on principle. There's so many silly episodes that I absolutely adore, and so do many others. It helps give Ben 10 its identity and appeal, and its unorthodox approach to its world and stories helps support it, even if in many episodes it doesn't turn out the best. In fact, because of this list and so many others, I've had to focus on the dumbest episodes of the show instead of discussing solely on how they don't make sense. Now, I kinda don't like how this is the most upfront I have to be on my opinions on each show, but I actually really want to give this franchise I love a much deeper look and analysis that this series cannot give, nor my other videos on the franchise. So I'm not done with Ben 10 yet. I'm gonna try and give this series its proper dues, because it genuinely deserves it so much. But that's until a later time. So until next time, it's hero time.
With this atomic demolecularizer, I can turn anyone into a clown zombie, trained to do my bidding. Why? The perfect plan. Everyone loves a clown. There's a knock on the door. It's a clown. You let it in. The next thing you know, they've taken over for me. That is the stupidest plan I've ever heard of. No, it's not. It's a good plan.